Welcome to the PITA podcast, where we talk about everything from life and mental health to entertainment and past and current events. Thank you for joining us. Let's begin, my fellow PITAs. Hello. Welcome back to the PITA podcast. I've been on a little bit of a hiatus because I was trying to figure out things with Podbean and Spotify. Finally got it figured out. So back to recording. But I've been writing in the meantime, so it's been a good time still. All right, anyways, welcome back. I have a quick question before I start this review. Have you ever stepped outside of your house and seen a big old pile of dog shit sitting in your front lawn and you just stare at it, wondering what feral beast produced this pile of shit? Well, ladies and gentlemen, this pile of shit is called The Killer. The Killer is a 2023 dark thriller. It's a Netflix exclusive. It is directed by David Fincher, who is best known for Seven. He also did Curious Case of Benjamin Button, Fight Club, and Gone Girl. Michael Fassbender plays the many-named assassin in this film. He's really the only super-known actor in this movie in general. It has a really small cast. I would say there was probably like 5 main characters at the most. Not a lot of side characters either. Really, it was a pretty small movie in size of cast. Yeah. So the first scene is literally a 20-minute scene, and pretty much each long scene in this movie is a chapter. So like the first one's chapter 1, Paris. The second one is chapter 2, so on and so on. So anyways, when the first scene started, we see this hitman sitting in a hotel. He's loading up his rifle while he's looking out of the window to a hotel across the street. The Smiths, I'm not really familiar with this band, but that's all he listens to on his little earbuds is he listens to Smiths songs. So this first scene gave me like a Dexter mixed with a Hitman, the video game vibe. Mainly because of the inner dialogue. It's so much like Dexter. But this dude, played by Michael Fassbender, he's a really calm killer. He's very arrogant. He's literally working out while he's waiting for his target to show up across the street. And in his inner dialogue, all he's talking about is like pretty much how great he is. He compares himself to serial killers. Like, I love his analogies. He talks about basically how many people are born each second in the United States compared to how many die. So he's like reasoning in his head that it's okay to take out people. So this character's a fucked up character. And like I said, he's just from his dialogue alone, he's a very arrogant assassin. Like, he thinks his shit doesn't stink. Alright, so like, when I talk about the music being played in the headphones by the Smiths, I can't even say that without sounding like I have a lisp. The Smiths, I think they're like a punk band from maybe the 80s or something. I'm not sure. I don't really know a lot about them. But so the song comes on. It's called How Soon Is Now. And to me that was kind of poetic for the situation, the scene. Basically saying like, how soon is his target going to show up? Because he's been waiting for hours upon hours. So finally, he looks through the binoculars and he sees the target. Finally, the hit, the mark. So he sees the guy. He's an old man across the street in a building. He's sipping on like some fancy drink, and then you see his bathroom door open and like a lady of the night or like a stripper in a bra and panties comes out of the bathroom. He's like dancing with her. He sits back down on the couch. The girl's dancing in front of him. And then she moves to the left. And then finally you see the assassin across the street. He's got his finger on the trigger. He's about to release it. Pulls the trigger. The girl, at that very second, moves to the right. Gets fucking annihilated by his bullet. So he kills the wrong person, ends up killing the girl. So now he's like, oh, fuck. Us, the viewers, are also like, oh, fuck. So now he's running down the stairs. He's trying to get the fuck out of the building, put his gun away, do all this shit. So that's pretty much chapter 1. It was like a 20-minute scene. It felt like forever. Like I said, the movie is broken up into chapters. So now we move on to chapter 2, which takes place in the Dominican Republic, called The Hideout. So now he's listening to the Smiths, a song called Hands in Glove, and the lyrics are, "I'll probably never see you again," or whatever. So once again, the song goes hand in hand with him disappearing to his hideout in his beautiful gray Jeep Wrangler. Eventually, after driving through like beautiful, like almost like a tropical setting, he finally gets to a gate, which is the gate to his house. He notices cigarettes and boot prints on the ground. He grabs his pistol. He fucking sprints to his beautiful abode. He gets to his house. The music is blasting in his house as he arrives. He finds blood and glass everywhere. He makes a call. Next thing you know, this motherfucker's driving and pulling into some random hospital. They don't explain that at all. It just cuts right to that. So now we're thinking, who else lived there? Did they get seriously hurt? You find out it's this chick. He goes to visit her in the, it's not like a ER, but like in the hospital room. She's all cut up bad, bandaged everywhere. Her brother comes up to the assassin, Mr. Fassbender. Comes up to him and he's like, "Yo, listen, she was attacked by a man and a woman. They were driving a green taxi." So that's a big clue for him. And then the brother basically says she escaped. She managed to hide in the forest and call for help. So she's in bad condition. She sees the hitman, which is her lover. She tells him, "I didn't say anything to the attackers," implying like she didn't let them know about him being a hitman. So now the next day he finds the taxi company. He breaks into the building at night to see if he can find any info on who was driving that night. He finds out it's a young driver named Leo. Ah, man, you feel bad for this dude. Anyways, he's a young dude that he was just trying to make extra money. That's why he drove these people to the house. He didn't know what was going to go on, you know. So he gets in the taxi with Leo, pulls a gun at him from the back seat, tells him to drive to this place under a bridge. Very mafia-esque. Pull under the bridge. Nothing's going to happen. Yep. This dude pours out all the information. Hitman pops him in the back of the head with the gunshot under the bridge. And next thing you know, he's talking to himself. And this is a thing he always says in the movie several times. It's like his... It's basically his message he repeats in his head. So I'm going to try to do this voice as Michael Fassbender. "Stick to the plan. Anticipate, don't improvise. Trust no one. Never yield an advantage. Fight only the battle you're paid to fight. Forbid empathy. Empathy is weakness. Weakness is vulnerability. Each and every step of the way, ask yourself, what's in it for me? This is what it takes, but you must commit yourself if you want to succeed. Simple." So yeah, he keeps saying this over and over before he has to take out somebody, or if he's in panic mode, he recites this in his own mind. So he, like I said, he off to the younger dude that was driving the taxi. So next thing you know, it's chapter 3. Now that he's in New Orleans, and the chapter is called The Lawyer. After complaining about the humidity and food in New Orleans, we hear the Smith song, "Heaven Knows I'm Miserable Now." Another very fitting song for the soundtrack. Because all these songs, they fit into the scene lyrically. To me, that was one of the only cool things of this movie, honestly. So he goes to a storage space, like a storage locker, for ammo. He gets kill materials. He has like a fake recycling worker disguise. So next thing you see him, he's tracking a red-haired lady named Dolores, who's standing in front of an office building. He follows her in by acting like a recyclables, whatever the fuck you call them, recyclables worker, I guess. He confronts Dolores at gunpoint in the office upstairs. She leads him to this lawyer, this African American man, older dude. This dude's like, he's like, you shouldn't have came here. Now's your chance to leave. He's basically threatening the hitman, like subtly, but he's threatening him. So you're like, what is this assassin gonna do? He has the lawyer tied up to his desk chair, his office chair, and he pulls out a fucking one of those nail guns. He pops 3 9-gauge nails into the dude's chest. This scene is brutal, but there's a but. He fucks up because he thinks the lawyer's going to live another like 6 to 7 minutes with the nails in his chest. But nope. This motherfucker dies immediately. So another mess up by this amazing assassin. That's twice he's messed up. So now he goes to check on the lawyer's assistant who he tied up in the bathroom. He sees her and she's begging him like, please, I have kids. Please let me go. And then he sees a bottle of open pills that I guess she popped. Like I said, we find out she has kids. And you could tell looking at the assassin. He's like almost sympathetic for her. So he cuts her the ties on her wrists. They walk out. He stuffs the lawyer into the recyclable can, and they go down an elevator. There's a funny little joke in this part. The guy's like, what do you got, a body in there? And then the redheaded chick does this like super like nervous laughter. I thought it was a pretty funny part. So yeah, they have the body in the recyclable bin. They're in the elevator. They leave. And then they end up going to one of his houses, the redhead and the assassin. She tells him everything via the computer. She goes to leave, starts walking down the steps. The fucker snaps her neck. She falls down the steps. I thought he was really going to spare her because he felt bad, but nope. This guy's a piece of shit. So that part really tugged at my heartstrings. So then he catches up to this... one of the people that were in the vehicle that showed up at the house, the female. So he shows up. You would know this chick from, she's the bald-headed girl in Doctor Strange. Yeah. So he makes a joke about her, basically saying she looks like a Q-tip, which she really does. They eat dinner together while chatting nervously to each other. At the end of dinner, he takes her out back in the snow, pops her in the face. You realize she had a pistol on her. So I think that's why he shot her. Yeah, so that was another uneventful ending of a scene. We get a lot of those throughout this movie. A lot of yawning parts. So now we're going to go on to the next target. If you notice a little pattern, every time he goes somewhere else, he's out there to kill somebody. Very cliche. So yeah, this time he's in Chicago. Now he's looking for the dude that was with the female, okay, that attacked his girl. So this is the guy. You got the female, he already shot her in the last chapter. Now he hunts down the guy in Chicago. This guy's living in like a really fucking badass penthouse. You can just tell he's got a lot of money. Like he fucks a lot of hookers and does blow type of guy. So anyways, for some reason, the assassin just thinks, I'm going to let this guy go. He's like, he threatens him. I think he actually believes that this dude didn't have an agenda or something. I don't know. They don't explain why he lets him go. So he kills the chick, lets the guy go. Now we get to the end of the movie. Chapter 6, the epilogue. Now he's back at his house in the Dominican Republic, relaxing with his girl. She is now healed. She shed the bandages, so it must be like a month or two later, I'd imagine. And then guess what? He sits down on a beach chair next to his girl, and the movie ends. Uneventful. Wow. For a David Fincher movie, to have no crazy ending, no twist, no nothing. It was just a bad ending. So normally I get no joy from writing mediocre reviews because I like to try to find the best in movies. There wasn't a lot here. Excuse me. Other than I did like the how they were broken up into chapters. I like that. I liked a couple of those subtle comedy moments, but I love the acting too. Fassbender was amazing in it. I compare him to Christian Bale from American Psycho. But yeah, those were the highlights. So now I'm going to rate it category by category. So I'm going to start with dialogue. 6 out of 10. 6 pitas out of 10 because there isn't a ton of dialogue. It's more narration dialogue. Him talking to himself, which to me isn't even really true dialogue. Felt like Dexter in that aspect. I already talked about that. Yeah, so 6 out of 10 for dialogue. Soundtrack. I love when movies have a really good soundtrack. This one is pretty decent. I'm going to give it a 7 pitas out of 10. I didn't like that every song was the same band. I like diversity in the music in a film. Let me drink, hold on. Yeah, so the soundtrack, 7 out of 10. There was a couple dark, moody pieces of music playing in like some of the fight scenes, some of the murder scenes. So yeah, I mean that made up for the soundtrack for the most part. 7 out of 10. Acting. This was my highest ranked one. 9 out of 10. Fassbender, like I said, he was a believable psychopath. He played it perfectly. There weren't a lot of, like I said, big time actors in this. I think this is a result of the whole writers and actors strike, to be honest. But you could see the low budget on the cast in this movie. Special effects, there were really none that I could point out. It was a pretty much straightforward action movie. The action scenes are really good. The one car chase scene was good. Yeah, 9 out of 10 for the acting, and then the special effects, like I said, I couldn't rate it. Cinematography now. 6 out of 10, another average, mediocre score. Because this movie just felt mediocre at best. And like I said, David Fincher usually puts out some banger movies, but this one just was not cutting it for me, at least as a fan. Not at all. I'd like to know how you guys think, so you could comment at the end of this if you had any feelings about this movie, if you watched it. So yeah, cinematography, 6 out of 10. I liked how it went from dark to light to bright throughout the movie. The camera work was basic, no real originality with the shots. Maybe the close-ups on the licenses, that was about it. Just to show off his fake names. The story now. This, to me, you have to have... If you're going to make a thriller, if you're going to make a mystery movie or an action movie, have somewhat of a story. Like somewhat of an original story. It's your usual revenge story. It's predictable. Other than him fucking up as an assassin. I'm sure it's been done, but that was kind of original, maybe. But the basis of the story was the same we've seen in Taken, John Wick, Running Scared, to name a few. So yeah, 5 out of 10, lacked originality. Yeah. I was not a big fan of this film. I wanted to be. When I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, fuck, Fassbender's in it. Oh, shit. This might be good. I like Hitman movies. This might be cool. So the ending score, the final score, the overall number of pitas for this, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. It was just straight up eventful. The only thing that kept me from making it lower than a 5 is Fassbender was amazing in it. Other than that, like, there's no redeemable qualities about this movie. I'll probably never watch it again. Yeah. 5 out of 10. Sorry, folks. I mean, if you're a Fincher fan, obviously watch it, but it just doesn't feel like a Fincher movie. It doesn't have twists. It doesn't have turns. It doesn't have a lot of mystery, honestly. They missed out on the idea, I think. All right, that'll do it for my review. Thank you for tuning in. You guys are awesome. I'll have some fitness. I'm gonna have a fitness episode, fitness guest coming up soon. I have to book her, but she's amazing. She's been in like bodybuilding contests. She's very talented at as a fitness instructor. Yeah. So we'll have her on. Planning on doing another review of my sister, the Notorious D.E.B. We're going to do a review soon. Not sure what show or movie yet. We're going to figure that out. Probably have my buddy Jason on again to do maybe a horror movie review in the next week or two. Yeah, that's what's coming up so far. All right. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great night. Stay positive. Stay hopeful. Stay positively hopeful. Good night, guys.